Mr. Irontrader, it is Monday morning, so it's time to go to work. We're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, and natural gas. Now, the futures here on the NASDAQ are up about a buck five. And remember, there's some bigger time earnings. Tesla's going to have their earnings this week, and so is Netflix. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy any stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, first on the docket here, we have Bitcoin. Okay, I'm long the BITX, and I told you this Friday. Simple reasons, we came all the way down and we held that 200 SMA. Now, on the weekly chart, it never got to that 50 SMA, but again, it's very, very early yet. Okay, so what we're looking here on the upside is today's high so far. We had 111,850 level. We're going to be looking at the top of that candle at 112,280. Then the key level is going to be right here at 113.11. That is your 8-day simple moving average. Now, right above that is we have this 100 SMA at 113,385. Then we have our old 50 here at 115,136. And then we have your 21-day at 115,648 level. Okay, so that's going to be very, very strong resistance. So as this 8-day curled over, it crossed over that 21-day, 50-day, and 100-day. That's going to provide very, very strong resistance. Unless we can get back above it, like we did here, then we just reverse that 8-day, and then we just rise right on up. So again, when it rises all the way up here to this 8-day, then I'll be selling some of that BITX. Okay, and then we'll see if it goes higher because you can always buy it back. Now, here on the downside, what we're watching is we're going to watch the bottom of this candle. This is going to be your support level at 110,410 level. Then we'll come here to the Friday's high at 109,470. Then we can venture right down here to the bottom of the candle at 108,555. And then we'll come down to the bottom of this candle right here at 107,720 level. Okay, so we lose that. You're going to come right down, bring that price channel right across. Okay, so you got 105,440. Level, and then we can have your big retest here of Friday's low at that 103,745, and then we have your 200-day at 103,693 level. That would be your downside. Okay, but again, today what we're really watching is just the top of this candle. That's the first resistance, 112,280, and that 8-day, and that's going to be very, very key. Now, this never got to an oversold condition, but we're not overbought or oversold, and this has long way can rally right back up here. The green is below your red, but we can get this to curl over away at the bottom of the scenario. So the key is going to be closing above that 8-day. Now, on a weekly, okay, you look at this chart, it's still a very, very bullish chart. See, now we have high, higher high, higher high situation. Low, higher low, higher low, higher low situation. When we were up here, I said you can come all the way down to that 50-day, and we still have bottom left, upper right, very, very bullish chart. Okay? Now, by Friday, you can see here, this 8-day never crossed over that 21-day, okay? Now they're sitting here side by side. So this is going to be strong resistance. It's 112,975, and then we have right there 113,839 level, okay? So this a pile of resistance, but if we can get back above it, then we can start hitting all the top of these at 116 level. We'll come up here top to that at 118, and then we can just start venturing right towards that retest of 127,240. Now we had the big sell down here, but you notice that how this can't hold it. See how it rallied up? It couldn't hold it, and then consolidation. Rallied up here and then down. Rallied up here and then down. But we got to hold this level right here. This is going to be key, 123,615. If we get above that, then we can retest your 127,240 level. You crack that, 130, and then 135 level. But we got to get through all this resistance because right now the price is only above that 200-day. So for today, just watch that key 8 SMA and see if it gets up there, what the reaction is going to be. Okay, on the downside, we want to hold at least these levels here at that 107 level, and then we have to hold that 200-day at that 103. If not, we're going to test this 50-day at that 102,946 level. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold, here we have silver. Okay, now, we had a nice good rally up. You see we're holding this 8-day, and now we're kind of like inside day, we're kind of hanging. Now on Friday, I was looking for that 44 level because that's usually a round number, but never really gets there kind of a situation. If we can crack this 43.92, then it's going to be 44.20, and then we head to that 4,500. That is going to be your target. But right now we have that indecision candle, and it's an inside day. So right now what we're looking at is the high today at 42.89. We get above that, we'll come up to here at 43.46, and then your retest at 43.92. Crack that, you're going to that 4,400. Downside, we're watching here today's low. You're looking at 42.29, and then we'll come down here at 41.96, and then we'll be looking for 41.78 level. Okay, so again, just watch today's candle, that 42.89 on the high side, 42.29 on the downside. Let's see where we can go with this, but right now we got like an indecision, but we're above this 8-day, which is obviously, you can see once you're holding that 8-day, it's sideways to up action. Okay, now all your simple moving averages are moving up, 8-day, 21-day, 50-day, 200-day, but they've been moving up for a long time here, and this is very, very, you got into them 80 mark, and that's always very, very, that's always like a nosebleeds kind of a situation. However, it shows that it is very, very strong. Again, you have to be a little bit patient, kind of a situation with this scenario, okay? So again, watch that 8-day. That's going to be very, very critical. Needs to hold that. We lose it, then you have the retest of that 21-day, possible 50-day, possible 100-day. So this could, when this corrects, this could correct very, very hard, okay? Now, silver. Well, we had a big, big red candle there on Friday. You can see there we topped out at 53.76. Didn't quite make it to that 54 level. But again, if we can get back above this 53.76, then I'd be looking for going towards that 55 level is what the target would be. Right now, you can see it came right on down, but we're holding that 8-day. Today so far, we're holding that 8-day. So this is very, very critical, that 50.43. We lose that, we'll come to today's low at 50.08. We'll come to Friday's low at 49.66. And then we'll come to the bottom of that candle, 48.75 level, and then we have 48.03, which is your 21 SMA here. Okay, that is your catch-all kind of situation. But right now, we're holding this very, very nicely. Upside, we're watching today's high, 51.14 level, and then what we can do is we venture right on up to this level at that 52.63, 53.61, and then 53.76. That's your retest. You crack that, you go into 54 and work yourself all the way up to that 55 level. Now we got to a way overbought condition. It came right on down, but we just have this sideways action. And as I say, your MACD, it came down here too, and then it popped right back up again. So again, as long as we're holding that 8-day, it's sideways to up action on the silver. Now, easy way to trade this is SLV for the long, GLD for the short. Now, GLD for the long there on the gold. Okay, so I'm not a big gold and silver trader. However, I do jump on it on a daily basis. If this does hold this 8-day and this candle starts turning green, then I'll probably jump on the SLV and try to take it for a retest of that 53.76. The same way with here. As long as we can hold that 8-day, I could jump into GLD and we can probably take it and retest that 43.92. But let's see how this all shakes out. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil and natural gas. Okay, here we have the crude oil. Now you can see here, we're barely hanging in here, kind of a situation, got a red candle. Now Friday, we put a bottoming candle in, sort of, okay? 56.15, it didn't really have a whole lot of juice here because you look at these price channels, it's basically just falling right off the map, okay? So today here, we had this high of 54.43 level. What we're looking for big time is that 58.52 level. That's going to be very, very key. Now, we do have a resistance here at that 57.68 level. We have a resistance there at that 58.22. But right here, that 58.52, that's going to be everything. If we get above that, we have a target up there of the 21-day at 61.15. But you have to look and see how strong that is. Then we have 62.44. Then we have 64.54, and then 66.07 level. Okay. Now here on the downside, well, what we're looking for, we made this low of 56.15. That's what we made there on Friday. So okay, so that's what we want to hold. Now, if we don't hold that, then this is going to be your next target right here at that 55.30 and then 55.12 level sitting right there. Okay. So right now, OPEC is adding oil. They cut off everything that they have as far as volunteer cuts. And they're trying to see exactly what the market could take. But I can tell you right now, I think you have a really, really huge glut going on here in the oil markets, okay, because of what they have added. So I'm not expecting this price, especially this time of the year, to do anything. So we had this double top situation, and we've been falling off the map ever since, okay? So bottom line, what we're watching is Friday's low on the downside. That's going to be very key, that 56.15, okay? We were looking for this bottom right here at that 56.39, okay? We got lower than that, but realistically, this is your big test, is 55.12. Now, when we lose 55.12, it's going to be 53, they're going to be 50, 47, 43 levels. Now, we come down here to your RSI. This is not oversold yet. And MACD, this is on the way on the go. The green crossed over your red. That's not oversold yet. So this could come way on down. So I'm looking for the retest there of that 55.12. Maybe not today, but obviously eventually. Okay. So I say when we look at the upside, you can see absolutely downtrending off of this double top situation with this series of high, lower highs, lower high situation. And your 8-day, 21-day, 50-day, 100-day, 200-day, everything is absolute waterfall to the downside. So you have to really get back above that 8-day to reverse that pattern. Okay. Now you can see here when it rallied up, look how strong that 21-day. That's why I call it the catch-all, but it works in both directions, either when it's selling or when it's going on up here. So it went right into that 21-day and then just selling right on off. So what we're watching is yesterday's low on the downside, 56.15. If not, you can retest that 55.12 level. Upside, just watch today's high, 57.43 again, and then we can come up there, okay, 57.68, come to the bottom of that candle, 58.22, but realistically, that 8 days everything at 58.51 level, okay? Now, natural gas. Well, natural gas here, now remember, the contract roll is started off today, on the 19th on crude. Next week, it'll be on the 26th for natural gas. Now, natty gas here, okay, we see where we just gapped right on up here. Now we're nicely above that 21 simple moving average, okay? So on the downside, this is what we want to watch, is that 3.16. That is going to be very, very key on a closing basis. If we lose that, we'll come to the bottom of this candle at 3.13. Okay, we lose that. Right here, your next support is 308. And then we have your 200-day or 50-day at 302 and the gap fill at 302. Okay, gap and then fill. Okay, but we have that 21-day, 8-day in the middle of that, and then we can fill that gap. Now, upside, we're looking here is that 21 or that 100-day at 3.22. We get above that, we're going to come right to the top of that candle. Okay, right there, you're looking at 3.25. Then we look to the bottom there, 3.31. Then we look to the top there at 3.39, and then we're looking for that 3.46. That is your 200-day. Then we can venture up the top of that candle. You're looking at 3.48, 3.52. 3.55, and then 3.58 is your big retest. So we got to see how this shakes out. But we look at this chart here, low, higher low situation, and we can work ourselves right on up. Now, when we look at your RSI, it's got plenty of room to run. The green is below your red, but look at them getting a sideways action. Again, you got a ping pong action right there, 322 on the high side, and right there, 316 on the downside. So we got to see which way this goes. If it goes lower, then we have the 8-day, we have the 200 or 50-day, and the gap fill. If it cracks up above this 100-day, then you have your big target at 346, which is your 200-day simple moving average. Okay, so easy trade on this here. UNG for the long, KLD for the short. I am short crude with the SCO, and I scalped the UCO. Right now, it's looking here pretty good on the SCO, looking really down. This is just an absolute waterfall down off of this double top, and you're coming into seasonality play on crude oil, and it's not to the upside. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here midday trading, and we'll take a look at some stocks here. Now, remember, the earnings week started kicking off last week with all the banks. Now all the earnings are starting to come in here. So you got Tesla, you got Netflix that started, and all this tech stuff is going to be coming in. Now, remember, if you look at a Palantir's chart, PLTR, okay, they've been beating every quarter. They're beating the numbers. Okay, so a lot of these stocks here, what you want to do now, they're not reporting till like October 3rd. So what you want to do is get in now so you can have that run up going into the earnings. Don't wait till the day of the earnings and say, oh, should I buy this? Should I buy it? Always go into the run up on the situation. All right, trade what's in front of you. Now what you want.